I own an HVAC company. I have for the last 20 years. Do you see the sleep deprivation in my eyes? That's where that comes from. Yes, I'm one of you. One of the questions that I get all the time, and one of the struggles that I had forever was hitting that ceiling. Okay. For a long time, I had a smaller company, right? I didn't really grow my company to the point it is today until several years in. Why? Because I didn't really know how. And I kept hitting that ceiling, right? And I remember my first ceiling was right at about $600,000 a year. And I just couldn't break that. And it wasn't until I really learned how to create what I call a playbook, right? So this playbook helped me break that ceiling of 600K. And then when I hit my million, then I had another ceiling, and then breaking ceiling after ceiling required having a playbook. Okay. Let me describe to you what a playbook is. Then I'm going to show you exactly how to make it after I describe what it is. Okay. So make sure you stay with me here. Now, I describe a playbook like this. Too often, heating and air conditioning companies, this is what we do. We work and we work and we work and we advertise and we advertise. And then at the end of the month, we look at our profit and loss, or our bookkeeper sends it to us, and we look, and then that's when we see, did we make money this month or not? That's horrible. That's not the way. That's how you keep hitting the ceiling. Think about it like this. If you had a basketball coach or a football coach and he just kept running plays and then he never looked at the score until the game ended, and then someone brought him a report of the score, and then that's when he found out he lost. You can't find out that you lost after the game ends. You need to know if you're losing while the game is going on so you know what play to run. Okay? Think about it like this. If you know that you're down by 5 points, you can draft up a play to score 5 points. If you know that you're down by 10, you know, I just need to hit 5 shots, or we just need to throw the ball into the end zone and get that one touchdown and an extra kick, whatever. You can do the same thing in your business. This is what a profit playbook is. And this is what I mean. If you know exactly how many calls you need to get, and if you know exactly what your average ticket is, then you know exactly how many calls you need to get. So if you're short on money and it's the last week of the month and you know I'm down $50,000, then you know, oh man, this is X amount of service calls. And if you know how many service calls that is, then you can pull the levers on certain marketing, right? And you know, hey, I get 10 calls a month on Facebook by spending 1,000. So let me increase to 2,000 for this last week. And that's going to give me 10 more calls, because you know. But let me show you. Okay, you see this here? This is an install forecast. Okay, now this is based on a certain number of calls. Here's the example of the service calls. The first thing that you have to do in order to create any playbook is you have to work on your prices. You have to know what your prices are. I have lots of pricing videos. Go to my pricing videos. I walk you through step by step on how to get the exact price and how to know what your average ticket is. Once you figure that out, then you'll know my average ticket. I'm making up a number here. Your average ticket's $400. Now you know how many calls you're going to do a day that you need to do. I like to have my technicians do 4 calls a day. I don't want to overwhelm them. They're the ones that keep the company running. They are the most valuable thing in the company. I love them, right? If you're watching this, I love you. Thank you so much, okay? I like them to do 4 calls a day. In the summertime, a lot of years I can load them down, but I don't, because I want them relaxed. I want them taking their time. I don't want them overwhelmed. Since I know that they're getting 4 calls a day and they're on the clock Monday through Friday, that's 80 calls a month. 80 calls a month. If my average ticket is $400, I know how much that truck needs to bring in every month. Now that I know that, I can see if a technician is underperforming or overperforming, right? So when you say, hey, is it time for a raise? Yes, it is. Is it time for a raise? Hey, let's talk about that, because you're underperforming. And then you can help them get to where they need to be. There's nothing more frustrating than having a boss that can't tell you what they need from you, yet they're on you every day, okay? This is going to tell you exactly what you need from your technician so you can communicate that so that they're happy. People leave companies not because of money. They leave because of frustrations. And one of the frustrations is they don't know what's expected of them, but then they're constantly required to do certain things. Okay, that's just an added benefit of having a profit playbook. So take a look at this. This is just a service department. This is an example of a $1 million company, all right? So this was made for a company that was stuck at $500,000. They've since broken the $1 million based on this playbook. but this will show you exactly how much you need per truck. So for example, this company had 2 technicians, I believe. So they can look and say, okay, it's May or June. We need to bring 40K in service. We're at 30K. We need X amount of more service calls. Let me get my butt up and go to that networking meeting, right? So you see what's going on here, and this is just the service side. Now you're going to know, for example, let's say you need 80 calls per month because you have a technician doing 4 calls a day, 5 days a week. That's 20 days, okay? So that's 20 service calls a week. Out of those 80 service calls, you're going to control how many units they turn over to sales. How are you going to control that? By training them on sales, by making them relax, by teaching them how to communicate with customers, by not just giving them 10 calls and they're stressed out and they just jump from call to call to call. They're taking time with the customer and making sure they're handing them more options, okay? This gives you the roadmap. So in order to create a profit playbook, this is what you have to do. Number one, you have to make sure your pricing is right because you have to price for profit. Watch my other videos. It'll get you there, okay? Number two, you need to find out how many service calls you or your technicians are going to do every day. That's the second thing. Number three, you are going to know what your average ticket is, okay? Because you created a budget. Now you know if you need to get to $1 million a year, if you need to get to $2 million a year, you're going to divide that by how many trucks you have. All of that is in the pricing video. Once you understand that, you can set up the goals for each month by using what's called a revenue curve. This here is just an example because you and I both know, as much as we'd like to say that, you know, our income is even throughout the year. If you own an HVAC company, you know your income is a lot different. So once you know your revenue curve, then you know, hey, I'm not going to have 80 calls a month in March, okay, depending on where you live. I might have 80 calls a month, June, July, August, and September. And then in March, I might have 40 calls a month per truck or 10. Then you can calculate that and you'll know where your shortfalls are every month. Okay, that's a little nerdy for now. Let's get out of that. Okay, long story short, set your pricing. Find out what your average ticket is. Find out how many service calls you're going to do per month and then reverse engineer it. Once you have that profit playbook, you can do like exactly like I do. My profit playbook is right here. You see that? You see all these pages? Okay. Every single day when I come to my office, I open it to the month that it is. I look at my numbers, whether it's in House Call Pro or QuickBooks, and I say, this is how much I'm at. It's the second week of the month. Let me look at my profit playbook. Oh, I'm under $3,000 from where I'm supposed to be. Let me start making some outbound calls. Hey, Miss Johnson, are you ready to install that unit? Hey, Mr. Smith, can we help you get that motor in? Hey, because you know exactly how many points you're down, right? If I'm down by 5, I'm going to pull all my guys in and say, hey, we're just down by 5. All we need is a 3-pointer and 2 foul shots. You get it? If I'm down by 20, then I know I need to really start getting aggressive on defense or whatever. Same thing in business. If you know if you're up or if you're down, you know, do I need to start cutting costs? Do I need to start getting more jobs on the board? Do I need to look at the technicians and see who's underperforming? And that's one of the beauties of knowing exactly what each truck should be bringing in, because you can look at each truck's numbers because you know the expectations. You say, hey, Bill, you did 80 calls this month and you didn't recommend one single unit, right? It's not about selling things to people, but it's about accountability and making sure our customers are being given options. Otherwise, they're going to be callbacks, okay? So if you know what to expect, you can see who's overperforming and who's due for a raise and who's underperforming, who could be brought in and do some more training. Or maybe you can stop them and figure out what's going on in their life, right? Because you're a boss who's present for your people, who are the most important things in your company. So if you have any questions about creating a profit playbook, put them in the comments. Hey, I'd like to meet you for 15 minutes. Go down, schedule some time on my calendar. I'll meet you and we can talk about it. I answer some questions really quick if I'm available. Just a really quick meeting. The meeting link is right down there. If you want me to create this for you, hey, I'm open to do that. I do that. I've been doing that for years for companies. If you just want to skip straight to it and say, Mike, create this for me, create my playbook. The way that works is I will have 2 quick calls with you. I'll interview you everything about your business, and then I'll create the profit playbook for you. I'll meet with you again one more time, and then I'll teach you exactly how to use it. So thanks for watching. Put it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good day.